So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are, anywhere in the world, and welcome to this information session presented to you by Banners Broker. Banners Broker is an international corporation, and we're currently with affiliates in 170 countries, and we currently number 300,000 affiliates around the world. And let me introduce you to the company and show you as to how and why Banners Broker has become the major organization that it has become. Now, the first question that everyone keeps wanting to ask us is what is Banners Broker? Banners Broker is an amazing organization, and it really is a revolutionary way to earn revenue online. And with the expansion of the internet and internet businesses around the world, everyone is very, very keen to understand how you can make money online. John Paul Getty, renowned as being one of the richest men on the planet, made a very important statement in 1947, and he said, "You will never get rich working for someone else." And that is oh so true when you sit down and look at the fact of the number of people who are in employment and lose their jobs through recession, through downsizing, through companies going bankrupt. There's really no more security today in working for yourself. So he said, you will never get rich working for someone else. There's no longer safety and security in being employed. Research in Motion, RIM, the company behind the BlackBerry, recently had to remove 5,000 employees from their organization. And Link Resources Corporation says that more than 29 million people, and this is just recently in the United States, says that 29 million people run part-time or full-time businesses from their homes. And even more frightening is the fact that over the past decade, Fortune 500 companies have laid off 4.4 million people. Now, that's a bit of a frightening shock. Now, as a result of that, there is an organization out there called SOHO. And SOHO stands for Small Office Home Office. And SOHO is the largest industry employer there is in the world. SOHO organizations account for the biggest chunk of the workforce around the world. And it is the way of the future. There's a new home-based business, for example, opening up every 10 seconds in the United States of America. Almost 9,000 new businesses every single day. And in the last 14 years, home-based businesses, they've grown significantly to the fact where the home-based businesses now have grown from 6 million to 32 million home-based businesses. And that just goes to show you exactly as to how the industry is really growing. So let's look into the future and see how the organization works. And look at the small office, home office. And let's move on from there. In this day and age, you really do need to be innovative. You've got to be original. You've got to be very, very creative. And companies really need to pioneer into new trillion-dollar territories if they're going to have anything of any significance. You do need really to start developing into trillion-dollar industries. And the internet is one of those trillion-dollar industries. That is one of the fastest growth industries there is in the world. So just start looking at some of these figures. Facebook users, over 1 billion Facebook users. On Twitter, there's 500 million accounts, and there's over 500 million tweets every single day. Social networking accounts, 2.5 billion of them. Websites, 630 million. I mean, just look at these figures. Web pages, 13 billion web pages. And as you start looking around the globe, look at how the internet population has grown. In just the last 5 years alone, over 1 billion new users have been added to the internet. And the numbers just keep on growing. No matter what you do, they just keep on growing. 2.1 billion internet users. Asia, 922 million. Europe, 476 million. China, 485 million. But the most important thing to bear in mind when looking at all these figures is that 45% of all users are under 25 years of age. And they're all viewing website pages and listen to this, guys, looking at companies' advertisements under 25 years of age, and they're all looking at companies' advertisements. And because they're looking at companies' advertisements on the internet, It is currently renowned to be a $500 billion industry and soon to become a $1 trillion industry within the next 5 years. And when you start looking at those facts and figures, that is really quite phenomenal. So let's start looking then as to who built it. Well, of course, we've all heard of Google. And what's really interesting and fascinating is when you look at Google and start your research, 97% of revenue from Google comes from advertising, about $37.3 billion, yet they don't really have a product. They started off as an information portal. Then with all their users, they started allowing their site to be used for advertising, and now do $37.3 billion a year. Facebook, 83% of their annual revenue comes from advertising, about $42 billion. And then, of course, now what happens? Twitter sits down and says, hey, maybe we can get into this advertising act. So Twitter now has got involved in advertising, using their pages. 89% of their revenue comes from advertising. Now, it's small pie at the moment. It's only $288 million. But they're getting in on the act. They realize it is a great revenue generator. And LinkedIn, the latest one to join the world of online advertising, 25% of their revenue currently comes from advertising. And it's small peanuts, $153 million, but they've started because they can see the potential that really is available in looking at online advertising. So what happened was then that we wanted to forge new revolutionary participation with other organizations. So we developed a new and very, very exciting opening that we believe had never been identified before. Then, after we created this opening, a plan was created. That plan was presented to various brokers around the world over and over again, until eventually one of the major brokers said, well, we'll join forces with you. We'll have an affiliation. And so Banner's Broker was born. So the question you're wanting to ask then is, what is Banner's Broker? Well, Banner's Broker is an online ad space broker, creating a new way to earn revenue online. And our products are ad impressions and ad inventory. So what is it that we do? Well, we rent advertising space. We generate increased traffic to that space. Because of that, we generate advertising revenue through the broker. That broker shares that revenue with us, and then we share that revenue with you. It really is as simple and straightforward as that. Now, of course, advertising isn't new. You know, going way back to the caveman days, the cavemen used to use the drawings on the walls with their paints and their chalks to start telling stories, to advertise their activities throughout the day. And so as we progressed, we've gone from rock, we've gone to print, and we've gone to digital where we are today. So we've progressed. Now, the internet, as the growth of the internet has happened, it's changed how we advertise. And social media has made the general public more accessible to advertisers, driving through viral marketing, and through what we call web surfers, internet surfers. So these internet surfers are commonly referred to as traffic. And traffic is what our business is based upon. So we might be new to the traffic game, but the 5 biggest traffic creators in the world are Google, Yahoo, YouTube, Facebook, and Baidu. And for those of you who don't know what Baidu is the Chinese version of Google. And information tells us, and you can never get really accurate information from the internet. It varies. But we anticipate there's about 100 million traffic visits per hour. And those 100 million traffic visits per hour, that equates to many, many dollars of income being generated through the internet. And so with Banner's Broker, we are giving our affiliates an opportunity to earn a piece of the online advertising dollars being created. Now that's got to be exciting. So how is it that we can change your finances? That's a big question you're asking. How are you going to change my finances? Well, let me explain to you, if I can, how the blind network actually works. I think it's important that we understand how the blind network actually works. Now, we know that inside the blind network, we anticipate there's approximately 500 billion worth of advertising revenue generated throughout the blind network. It could be 490, it could be 600 billion. No one knows the exact figure, but for the sake of this presentation, let's assume it's about 500 billion. Now, from the number of websites out there, we know that the brokers, that are the massive brokers around the world, they have sort of access to over 500 million websites. And what happens is that advertisers, and you'll see some advertisers will advertise on television, they'll go through an agency to put them on TV, or to go onto a billboard, or to go into a newspaper or a magazine, but a lot of companies use their advertising dollars to go into the internet. Now, of course, you can advertise on Google and Facebook and YouTube. Now, those advertising spaces, they are premium cost. To advertise there, it costs you more than advertising on the blind network. Why? Because they're prominent. It's like advertising in a newspaper or magazine. If you want to have the front cover or the back cover of a magazine or a newspaper, or the inside of the front cover, inside the back cover, you're going to be charged a premium because you demand that I want my advertisement placed there. Now, if you can't afford that high premium, then you decide to place your advertisement on the inside pages of that publication, of that newspaper or magazine. Now, in which case, then you can't really dictate what page your advertisement is going to go on. And so the newspaper or the magazine decides, they look at your advertisement, and they decide where they're going to place it according to all the editorial content that goes into that magazine. And then when you buy that magazine, you pick it up, you have to flick through all the pages trying to find where your advertisement is. And in the past, when I've tried to advertise, I can't always find it first time. I've got to keep clicking through, and eventually I go, oh, that's my advertisement. Well, it's almost how the blind network works. If you want to go on the inside and back covers of the internet world, then you go into the major sites and pay the premium. If you want to pay less and you want to get a lot of traffic to your website or a lot of traffic to your advertisement, then you might go onto the blind network, which is like the inside pages of a magazine. You can't dictate where it's going to appear, but the blind network will place your advertisement on as many pages and as many websites as they can to give you the number of impressions for your advertisement. So advertisers pay money to the blind network and say, well, listen, there's my advertisement. I want to have 50,000 traffic hits. Can you please make sure you place my advertisement around the blind network so I can get the amount of traffic that I'm looking for? Now, for the blind network to place an advertisement, they need websites, which are known as publishers, the same way as someone publishes a magazine. So website owners, they donate or they lend their website into the blind network, and banners are placed on that. And then once the advertiser pays the money to the blind network pays the money out to the publisher, and there you go. That's how the program operates. Well, it did until a couple of years ago, when a gentleman called Chris Smith, who is an IT genius, who's an IT geek. He's one of these people that sits down in front of his computer and says, how can I change the world? Well, he wanted to change the world. He's been in marketing and direct sales and understands the industry so well. But he looked at how the advertising industry was really growing online. He was looking at the $37 billion being generated by Google, for example, and said, what are they doing? And how can I do the same but better and take a slice of that operation and get a slice of it? So he started creating a program, and he started going to various brokers. And there's quite some major brokers out there who control big chunks of the internet with their websites. And most of these people said no. But one of those brokers actually sat down and said, that looks like a good plan. I like the idea. Yep, let's form a partnership. So then what Chris did was he then built his software, built his program, and he blended his bridge to tie with the bridge of that broker. And as a result of that, we now have over 300,000 affiliates around the world feeding traffic through to that broker. Now, that then increased revenue for the broker we were working with. And we then said to that broker, okay, we'll increase your revenue. You pay a percentage of that revenue to our organization, and then we'll pay a percentage of that revenue down to our affiliates. And that's exactly how it operates. It's as simple as that. We send business in the direction of the broker. the broker, it has increased revenue, the broker pays us a percentage, we keep a percentage and pay the affiliate the rest of that percentage. And it's real simple. And so what do our affiliates do? Well, our affiliates find people who want to advertise. We're not an advertising company. We find people who want to advertise, and we just send those people through our system straight into the blind network, and the broker there looks after the advertiser. Exactly the same way as with the publishers. We find people who maybe want to put their website and earn revenue, generate revenue by monetizing their website. They put themselves through our program, through our software, and that goes straight through to the blind network. So we don't take advertisements, we don't place advertisements, we don't design or create them. We just find people that want to advertise and send them through to the blind network, through our 300,000 affiliates. And because of that, what's now happened, we're very excited by this, a second broker, one that's larger than our first one, has now said, all right, I see what business you're doing. This is quite amazing and staggering. We now want to build a bridge with you. So now what we're doing is creating our platform so we can now share our technology with the broker so we can build a bridge. That means that our organization can talk to that organization, and we now know that by the end of this year, we'll have an excess of 1 million affiliates around the world. And that is exciting, and that's how our program works. So as an affiliate, as a Banners Broker affiliate, you are able to financially benefit as both an advertiser and publisher, even though you might not have a personal website to promote. So we've now created a situation whereby if you have no advertisement, no product, and no website, by joining our association, becoming an affiliate with us, we give you the ability to be able to operate as though you were an advertiser and a publisher, giving you a chance to earn from both sides of the industry. And of course, if you do find people who want to advertise their product and you introduce them to the Banners Broker system and put it through the network, then whatever that company or that client's advertising budget is, you'll receive 10% of their spend. And of course, if you find people who are publishers, who are website owners, who want to monetize their website and derive some extra income from and through their website, then they lend their website, they just put it through our program, we send it straight on through to the broker does the rest, and whatever income is derived through that broker, through that publisher, then our company receives a percentage of income. We pay a percentage of that income through to the website publisher, and we pay a percentage back down to our affiliates of 10%. Now, also, you're out there building a business, and of course, we want 1 million affiliates around the world by the end of this year. So therefore, we want you to invite anyone you wish to join as an affiliate within our organization. And there's no income, there's no financial benefit to bringing people on board. You don't make any income from inviting people, but we do give you additional traffic that you can use to speed up your advertising and your promotional campaign and your advertising campaigns that you might be running. So as an affiliate, we do encourage you to invite people to join the organization. Now, you might be sitting there as a new person and saying to yourself, well, I really don't quite understand the internet. I want to get involved in the internet, but I really don't quite understand it. Well, you don't need to worry about that. We have a complete marketing and support system that, believe it or not, is a 24-hour live support available through Sunday through to Friday. Our people do need to have a one day off, so they take Saturday off. And we will help you build a viable and long-term business. So you have total support, not only from us as a corporation, but also from your independent contractors that are around the world, and also from your general managers who operate also around the world. Now, as far as tools and training go, well, the executive team is highly experienced in the world of direct sales and online marketing. We have continual workshops in every country and also obviously around the globe, both held by local people and also by the corporate. There are webinars, many webinars taking place in various languages, which you can find a lot of information in your back office. And of course, we have conventions whereby we do world tours, and our whole entire executive team travel around all the countries doing amazing conventions that help you learn and understand and build your business. So it really is a very, very exciting operation. So the next question then boils down to then, well, okay, David, this looks very interesting, but what can I expect to make? What's the revenue that I can earn? So let's show you how you make the revenue and what you can sort of anticipate to earn through Banners Broker. So first of all, understand that Banners Broker, we own advertising inventory. Banners Broker purchases that ad inventory at a discount from the major broker. We then rent that inventory to affiliates for a period of time. Affiliates generate traffic to fill that inventory and to complete the campaigns. And your income then is totally dependent upon how much inventory you purchase, of course, and the number of campaigns that you're running to complete your campaigns. So let's sort of show you what we have. There are multiple packages that we have out there. They start from a starter at $25, go right the way through to $55, $145, $415, as you can see on the left-hand side of the screen down there. Now, to show you the sort of income that can be derived if you run successful campaigns, is that let's say that you take the professional inventory package. Then that's a cost of about $415, and your anticipated revenue can be anywhere up to $800 once that campaign's completed. But it's important to know the time frame of completion is totally dependent upon the success of the campaigns that you are running. So it really is, it's very simple and very basic, and we do have training programs that help you to understand how to put on a campaign, how to run a campaign, and how to have that campaign running successfully. So, you know, you just got to try it today. All you need to do is pick a package, and your invitee can explain to you which package you want to do. You start as low as $25 and give it a go and try it. Then you'll get some free impressions as well on top of your joining for the package. You'll get free webinars, free training workshops. So all you need to do is look at the information we've given you, get back to the person who invited you, and say, I want to become an affiliate today. And becoming an affiliate is real easy. You can either do it now online by typing in bannersbroker.com and then / the name of your invitee. On there, there's a very, very simple form. And you just put it in. It's simple and easy. Just complete the details. Then we then sit down and we put you in as an advertiser, so you can use those 1,000 impressions that we give you. Then we help you create a campaign on the Blind Network. So we take you through. This is how you learn the process of how to actually run a campaign. So we then take it and put it into the Blind Network for you. Then once we've done that, the next stage then is we do what we call contextual targeting. And contextual targeting might be a new word to some of you, but contextual targeting says, well, where do you want to aim it? What sort of industry, what sort of websites, what segment, what market segment do you want to aim your campaign at? Health and wellness, entertainment, business, social, computer. Where is it you want to aim it? So we then want to know what it is you want to do. And then we obviously also in that contextual targeting, as you go through, what age group, what demographics, and so forth. Once we've done the contextual targeting, we then say, well, now we need to know your geo-targeting, which is which country do you want your campaign to be in? Which city do you want your campaign to be in? And you can add the number of countries, as many as you want, as many cities as you want, where you say, I want to hit that website in that country or in that city. And so once you've done that, you then have a choice of banners. And in the back of your office, you'll find there's all different sized banners. And you can either use banners that we have created for you, or you can take our banners and put your own verbiage into those banners, so you're now creating your own banners that you want to sit out there to start promoting your campaign. And then you're going to say to yourself, well, what is it that I can do to make sure my campaign's working? Well, we have various tools in your back office that tells you all about the campaign you're running, how many impressions you've used, the target impressions, the status of your campaign, and how it's all operating, so you can really start tracking what's happening to your business and to your business campaign. It really is very, very simple, straightforward, and as straightforward as that. So now I hope that you can see through this short presentation that Banners Broker really is a revolutionary way of making income and of being part of the amazing online advertising industry that's out there that you can get involved with purely by renting space. 300,000 affiliates and growing to 1 million this year, and then 1.5 million the following year. We're growing. Our goal is simple, to become one of the largest brokers that are online in this industry, and we're on target to do that. So I appreciate you listening to this presentation. We appreciate you being on board here. Our suggestion is get back to the person that invited you to listen to this presentation and say to them, I want to give it a go. Get involved, get more information, and start